Hi, my name is Andrei and you're on MGC channel. Hope you're doing well. I'm pretty sure that everybody had a situation when somebody uh, is when something is unclear in requirements or we do not understand what is it, bug or change request. And how do you think who can judge developers? What is it, bug or feature? Please type your opinion in the chat. At that time, I will introduce our special guest today. Irina Gurskaya, Senior BA, Lead BA, blogger, author of a book, Business Analysis in IT, Is It Easy? All links are in description. Subscribe and follow in Instagram.
Hi guys, thank you Andrei for introduction.
Until we go with our set of questions, please write your current position. We would like to know who is more, business analysts or developers. And let's start. Despite that's an important and interesting job, very few people really know insights from BA routine and career path. A lot of people just know that BA writes a requirement and that's it. And today we'll highlight those insights. And right now, let's go to our questions. Please describe for our subscribers who are BA, what are typical responsibilities of BA, and your usual working day.
Yes, sure. I'll do it with a great pleasure. As I see in our chat, Senior BA here, and that's only one person who shared her position. But I hope to see more comments because I want to know for whom my story will be told. But initially, yeah, of course, I prepared several slides for you in order to structure our knowledge about who is business analyst. And let me please share my screen. There will be only 1, 2, 3, probably even 4 slides. Just a second. Yeah, I think that's it. Tell me, please, can you see my screen? Andrei, could you please?
We can. Yes, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, as we know, business analyst is a project role responsible for requirements elicitation, requirements analysis, requirements documentation, and requirements management and change control. You already mentioned that some role is judging where is it a bug or a change request or new feature. Yeah, it was in that part, requirements and change control. And also to understand more clear about what business analysts do on the project, I offer you the next slide. So please just get acquainted with what is the requirement. A requirement is a condition or capability must be possessed by a system and needed by a stakeholder to solve a problem or achieve an objective of the end user. So this is the main thing with which we work on the project. Everything related to project requirements is related to business analysts in IT sphere. I know that you want to ask me more questions about other spheres, but let it be later. And also, let me just clarify that the main tasks of BAs are not only around the requirements, but also it's about communication with the customer, elicitation of their goals and needs, also with the team. Also, it's about requirements documenting and specification creation for the team. Participation in all of the development stages. I can share this screen in advance because I understand that there are many developers right now on our live, many business analysts who know all of these stages. But I just want to emphasize that business analysts take place in each of these phases. And also business analysts responsible for ensuring that product meets its intended functions. I think this is the main point, and we should aim all of the tasks we do to the last point on this slide in order to meet the intended functions, to meet the business needs and business goals of the product. Yeah, so that was, I hope, fast introduction into business analyst responsibilities. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask in our chat. We can for sure discuss it. My colleagues usually intersect with BA only in Jira requirements and so, unfortunately, but this is much deeper as you discussed. Could you share with us what's the value of BA on the project in general? What value BA brings to success?
Yeah, for sure. So I like the statistics of one very famous university in USA, and I shared it, I think, already 3 years ago on my page. You can find the statistics in percent in one of the first posts on my page, EasyBA page. But in a nutshell, it says that I think almost 90% of a project success depends on the high quality work with the requirements. So it means if requirements gathered with high quality, carefully, with the thoughts of the final goals, the final needs, will we cover the needs of our end users and other related questions, it means that this product more likely be successful on the market, and we will not need any rework activities. I mean, fixing bugs, adding changes to our product, adding change requests. As usual, our customers very like to put into the current version and to extend the scope. So yeah, of course, the main BA value is not only in the requirements writing and documenting, but first of all, it's in thinking about the final goal, final covering of all the project needs. And each time we receive new requests from our customers, we have to think, will it be really needed for our end users? And so many related things. By the way, also additional advertising. Recently, MJC Talks and I have written the post. I think currently it's the last post on my page, at least. And you can read the differences between junior BA and middle and senior BA mindset, because it changes during your work, and more you are in profession, more you think about the product from the needed perspective. Yeah.
I suppose senior BA is more about business, junior BA is more about technical writing. But yeah, we can review this question in more details a bit later. So, folks, please write your opinion in the chat. Who is more important on the project? BA, SA, dev team, or PM, or somebody else? We would like to know.
Question. Very provocative.
Exactly. We are offline. We are online. We can discuss it on the kitchen with a cup of tea. Let's do it in the chat. Yeah. Okay. And Irina were writing so much, so she wrote the entire book about business analysis. So you can follow in the description of this video, find this book, purchase if you are really interested in that. So is it only about IT business analysis, or it's applicable also to another spheres of our life?
Yeah, I also was expecting for that question. So yeah, of course, you can find this information at the start, at the beginning of my book. I disclose the topic that business analysts in IT and business analysts in all other spheres, these are different professions, because these positions have different responsibilities, at least. So, of course, I can tell you more about responsibilities of business analysts in IT sphere. But what about other domains, other spheres in the world, where you can hear that his position is a business analyst? More likely, it means that this girl, this guy, works with statistics, with marketing investigations, with different things where they gather not only project requirements, but really wide variety of values, numbers, about really statistics numbers. Yeah, so if you ask me about this portion of profession, I would say that you can even find separate pages on Instagram, separate courses on the internet that teach business analysis in other spheres. So usually when I teach someone to do business analysis on the project, I emphasize that this is the business analysis in IT because it's totally another field, and many of things that I teach someone, they are not required and not needed in general business analysis sphere. Yeah, something like that.
And vice versa, I suppose.
Yeah, but from the general business analysis sphere, we take something to ourselves, I mean, to our business analysis in IT. For example, from marketing research. I think many of us work with marketing research on our projects initially, because we need to know our target audience, about their needs and other things, because in this case, we will be ready to recommend that our customer add some new features to application or not add, and other things that really affect the success of the product. So it means we take something from the business analysis in general, but they sometimes can't do that from the business analysis in IT sphere. Yeah, so this relation, not directly vice versa, but yeah, in one direction it works.
I know one type of marketing research that's hated by all developers. It's A/B tests. It's very important for business, but it's very, very hard for implementation. So press like who participated in A/B tests creation.
Who feels this hurt?
Who feels this?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about straightforward career path. Close your eyes, imagine you finished the university, you stay on the street across a lot of people, and where should I go? Where should you do? And how to become a junior BA? What to do? And where? And when?
Yeah, so at first, I'd like to say that I'm happy that nowadays in Ukraine and in other countries close to Ukraine, we can have such major in our universities. Because when I wanted to study business analysis in IT, I think 6 years ago already, we hadn't such major at our university. So it wasn't any opportunity to have this major, to have this profession officially in university. So nowadays I know it's possible, and moreover, students are studying business analysis by my book. So I think it also happens not officially, but I'm happy. I'm happy to make such involvement to this sphere. Yeah. So what about the initial question?
You can feel yourself as a teacher in the university.
Yeah, probably you're right. But as you know, I have my own course and marathon and sometimes workshops. So I hope there will be time for advertising soon. Because, like, spoiler, I'm going to conduct offline workshop in Warsaw very soon. So just give me a word sometime later and I will tell you. Yeah, so what about profession? How to become a business analyst if you are at the start of your way, and probably you were happy to got this major in university to become a business analyst officially by university documents. I would recommend that you find huge company that has internship, because usually, and it's also related to case of my company where I work. So we have internship for business analysts, and I know how it works from both sides, because that was a part of my way too when I wanted to become a business analyst 6 years ago. I went to internship to really huge and famous company in Ukraine. So yeah, what about another side? I know that all the internships are well prepared. Usually you have more than one mentor on the studying process. Mentors are trying to fill you with all the needed knowledge by all the topics that needed on the possible nearest projects if you pass the internship successfully. So I know that companies really care about the future of their possible future business analysts. This is the one way that I recommend. And another one, I think it's about, I think it's recommendation is related to cases when you didn't succeed in this process of finding some internship, because of course huge companies can have these internships not every month. They can have them only once per year or once per season, and for example, you don't want to wait, you don't want to waste time, and sometimes you can find open courses on the internet, because currently there are so many courses on different platforms, Coursera, I forgot the name, so the platform that starts Udemy. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so there are so many courses, and by the way, many of them really cool and written with a high quality. Sometimes it's not the best quality of the video or sound, but you need the sense of it. So if you look at the structure of course, it could be really just free course, but it will be very useful, very important for you, and it can help you to pass the job interview on the June BA position, for example. So everyone
So it will
chooses.
be enter in IT to be a position after course.
Yeah.
Is it really?
So
How do you think?
I think it's a very possible path, because if you want to do something, you have this goal. For example, on the first job interviews, they will be your first like test interviews. You will see which knowledge these companies require to have. You will see topics that you have to study more, and you have time to prepare to the next job interviews, where you can show yourself as a good BA that is ready to learn. And if and interviewers see that the person who is on this job interview says something really smart and intelligent, and they see that you are into business analysis, and you are not the guy from the street who just want to go into IT. So I think every interviewer will appreciate it. Because I was on that side, I mean, from the interviewer's side, and not always we pay attention to people who just have hard skills, because it's really important to have soft skills too. So it's really complex question. You need to have complex approach from both sides, for the interviewers and the person who is interviewed. But usually, if you have such strong desire, you will get this. So there are so many ways, and every path is really individual.
That's completely different from developers entrance, because that's very, very hard to find your first job after online courses, especially in big companies. Usually, if you pass some online courses, it's only easier for you to enter to big companies course.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's like not first step, it's half a first step in development world.
Yeah. But for example, on my course for beginners, I know that currently, because of the general situation in the world, it's much more harder to find a BA profession on the market. But from the results of my previous course, Business Analyst in IT for beginners, like I named it like Business Analyst from scratch or something else. So there were guys that was their first acquaintance with the business analysis in IT when they come to my course. So those guys from the first flow of my course, all of them found the job right after the course. So they just passed my course that were 17 classes online. There were many homeworks, and I think that was the main part of the studying, when you do the homework and when you have at least 5 iterations of checks of these homeworks, and my sleepless nights when I'm checking the homeworks of my students. But yeah, it's worth that. So I think it was like real case when you can see that it's possible. My course is not free, probably. That's why it's also effective and productive. But who knows? I think if you have this really such design. Oh, sorry. my computer decided to freeze. Okay, chill. Okay, everything is fine. Yeah, so I think I finalized my speech.
Yeah. You're doing right steps to open your own BA university based on your courses.
Probably. Who knows?
Okay, let's talk how to grow. You became a junior BA and you're working a lot. You wrote tons of stories. You discussed it with developer, but how to become a middle BA and what's distinguished in between of different levels of BA. I know that it's different, and folks, if you please write your opinion in the chat. What's the difference in between senior, middle, junior, lead, or probably super ninja BA? We will discuss it. And let's please share your opinion.
Yeah, for sure. You're right that sometimes it's kind of hard to define the difference between middle and senior. It's really blurred line. But about junior BA, as you said, it's mostly about requirements writing. So when you become a junior BA, you start to study from the higher positions, from your team lead, from middle and senior business analysts, how to do this job. You study their attitude to the profession. You study what questions are correct to ask your customers, which approach is great and which is not. You just in this time, in this period of your life, when you are mostly studying and just sometimes provide technical specifications or requirements like as a result, as a visible result of your work, but mostly you are studying something, usually, always. And from the perspective of middle and senior BA, I would like to also share my screen just to check at first.
How do you think could three junior BA substitute one middle BA?
Interesting question. I think it depends. It depends on many factors. By the way, I'm serious. I'm not kidding. Because it depends on domain, on the size of the team, on the customer. So on the project level, I mean complex level. So yeah, interesting question. So yeah, just let me share the screen. Yeah, so about middle BA, for example, at first, when you are going to think that probably you are a middle business analyst, I think that you have to check yourself if you can write technical requirements in such documenting techniques. So here we can see feature list, user story, acceptance criteria, use case and use case scenario, UI requirements. I know that many projects work only with user stories and sometimes acceptance criteria. But of course, there are more techniques that you can use, and that they are sometimes more fit the project because they describe requirements in more details. And after that, when you know all of these techniques, you can choose the appropriate one and use it on your project and succeed in it. And also, there is another list about visual techniques of documenting requirements, which contains wireframes, mockups, prototypes. It's about visualization before the UI and UX designs, UML diagrams, BPMN diagrams, flow charts. So there are so many techniques in which you can have knowledge and which you have to use, which you have to use properly and know where is the time to use this technique or the next one. And this is only like the core knowledge that is needed to understand that, okay, probably I am a middle business analyst, and I can try to think if my mindset is similar to middle or senior BA mindset. And about the additional parts, it's also about soft skills. It's about your communication in team. It's about your support. Support, support, like to explain to your team where they can find the requirements. Why do we need this feature? Why we decided to do so? To recommend something, to support the client with some information, why we go with this flow but not with another, and other things. When you really care about your project, your final goal is not to write down the requirements, but your final goal is to make this business successful. Probably, if you have this goal, to monetize the project and to have many clients at the end. And of course, you become a caring person. So you're more like product manager or product owner, but you have the same thoughts because all the things you do should be checked on all of the mentioned points. Probably which things? So you are focused on delivering, not on the process of writing requirements, but on the process of delivering and about success of this process. So that's why when you're middle senior, I think senior business analyst means that at your level, at your senior BA level, you can teach others. So this is also like the next point that says us, this guy can teach others. It means he or she knows a lot. And it could be one point in review of senior expertise. So there are really blurred lines between middle and senior. But of course, when you study every day something new, when you are in the business analysis news, when you know the new books that our Lord Carl Wiggers writes every day, when you order them on the internet and waiting with expectations to read them as fast as it's possible. I think it could be passion into profession, and of course with experience and with feedback of teams and the clients, you and your team leads and higher positions will understand that you deserve this naming next to your name, like senior BA, or something else.
Yeah, I saw almost the same slide in solution architecture school. UML, BPMN, flowcharts, wireframes,
really?
and so on. Yeah, so folks who would like to become a solution architect, you can find a lot of intersections with business analysis, because solution architecture is not only about coding, it's about bring value to business, to customer, and there are a lot of intersections with business analysis.
So we are magicians.
Yeah.
Wizard magicians. Yeah.
We have an opinion from the chat that junior needs supervision, middle can work standalone with a bit supervision, and senior works standalone and he can be a supervisor or a mentor. How do you think? Is it true?
It really close, I think. But of course, usually, let's imagine that you are a company owner. I mean, you have your own IT company and you have your employees who work on the projects. And of course, you want even junior BAs to be standalone, to have this level of responsibility to put them on pre-sales, on different calls with clients, and not worry about their results on those calls. So I think every company strives to be better and strives to find such employees that are standalone initially. But of course, yeah, with your growth, with your level of growth, you can not only be a standalone person, but also teach others. So yeah, of course, I would say that I'm just reading this comment. So junior needs supervision. I would say that mentee needs supervision. When it's internship, when it's like mentor and mentee, mentee needs supervision. But when you hire someone to job, when you hire someone to be junior BA, I think they also should be really standalone professionals and start to do baby steps and go to their final goal.
But what if you senior BA but also mentee? You learn how to become a lead BA.
Oh, interesting. But we would say that you are mentee not in business analysis, but in leading. Like it's another skill. It's almost another profession. You know, like in some streams or I would say like live streams, we have moderator. So a moderator is a separate role, and it helps us. So when you are mentee in leading position, you are just studying these leading skills, and it's separately from business analysis skills. I think it should be reviewed like that.
Okay, I got it. Okay, you also a lead BA, as I remember. What is the biggest team you ever managed?
So currently it's not a very big team, because in our company we have these separate departments. Like we don't want our team leads to be overwhelmed with team leading responsibilities, because, for example, currently I have a full-time project. So where to put some team leading responsibilities over that, and that's why our teams divided by 4 or 5 people inside one team. So the best times in my team leading activity, as I remember, my team was 5 members. Yeah. So
am I right that it's something like BA plus Scrum Master? It's not like you are leading a team of 5 BAs.
No. So I think when it's about team leading, it's about leading of other business analysts to achieve their professional goals in their personal development plan, at least. So these business analysts are from different projects, and you just meet with them to check and track their progress, to help them if they need some help and other things. But if it's about huge projects where you need several BAs at once, I think there are only few cases when among I think 5 business analysts, there is one team lead, like business analyst, about other business analysts. Usually they just work as a team, and that's all. So when I'm saying about the team leading responsibilities, it's more about personal progress of separate business analysts in our company, and I'm more like mentor for them. Despite their level, it doesn't mean that they are internship guys.
Senior BA, but they're mentee. Is it?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, great. I know that in some companies there is a procedure of assessment in between roles. For example, from junior to middle, or from middle to senior level. What would you recommend for for business analysis to pass this procedure more successfully? For example, from middle to senior level.
Yeah, so it really depends on the company, on the city, on the country where you're working. So, of course, you should check this process step by step. You should understand the needed skills. I mean, both hard and soft skills, because for business analysts, it's always important to have both. And usually companies have the list of these responsibilities, of these skills that you have to have in order to get this desired level, middle, senior. So just check it in your company and study the needed things when you have where you have gaps. Yeah, something like that. So it will usually depend on your company, on your project, and sometimes on your team lead. If your team lead is cute, it will be easier to pass this way.
Okay, great. We are talking about business analysis from more like IT career perspective or like from requirements perspective. But do you remember some cases when you saved customers' entire business?
I would say not entire business, but of course, I helped my customers many times. I think the most memorable cases in my mind, it was when I saved clients' budgets. So, for example, they come to our team and say, we want this feature and another, and already shared with us all their plans, all the details of the color of the button, of the features that should be done right after the user clicks this button, and other things. So really detailed requirements that were provided by the customer, and it looks okay. Yeah, average team would say, okay, great, we have full requirements, detailed, we can start work, and that's all. But business analyst on the project just decided to think if our end users need this feature at all. And after that, after 2 or 3 points from my side to the client, I just argumented that we probably don't need this feature at all. And he said, Irina, you are right. Thank you very much. We could start the development of that huge feature, but it's really not needed at all. And it would be really better to spend time to another feature. And yeah, that was like that. And I can remember such stories several times happened in my career. So yeah, I'm really proud of that. It's really pleasant to hear such words from your customers.
I have the same challenge right now. I have set of requirements, rather detailed, but if you wrap up those requirements, you understand that it is a message broker, and that's it. But you already have a lot of message brokers on the market. You can take an existing and deploy it in 1 hour. That's it.
Yeah, you're right. So be careful.
Yes, exactly. I need to make customers to understand that it's not required also, and we will save a lot of money. Okay, that was a simple, straightforward career path. If you have some comments, please write it into the chat. But let's consider not straightforward career path. For example, I've been working with a guy who, as a BA, who in the past was a C# developer, and with one BA who in the past was a lawyer and English teacher. And how do you think? Is it useful?
Yeah, of course. Every experience is useful, and it could be considered globally. I think, for example, just a separate case. When previously you were a seller, for example, you sold some goods in your past.
Seller or sailor?
Seller, not sailor. So you sell goods, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so even
Not
such
driving ship.
no yeah, so even such experience, I mean, not in IT sphere, not in digital sphere, you can sell, I don't know, fruits or vegetables on the market, and it's also your experience. It means you worked with people, it means you have communicative skills, it's also useful. So every experience is needed, is useful, and moreover, when we talk about such things, when it was a former developer or account manager or sales manager, quality assurance, I don't know, each profession from the IT sphere is really useful. And of course, it means that you are into the project development, you know the project development life cycle. You know, more likely, you know, OOP principles, and you can have this full picture. It's not only about your understanding of features, it's about the technical implementation. You always have more full vision when you have the experience in other professions in IT. What about English teacher? Of course, it means you have a brilliant English and you can succeed in calls with your clients, and other things can be studied just further. So I would say that this path is even easier because you already know something and you just need to extend your knowledge. And yeah, I think it's more pleasant for guys who already have such experience to switch to BA position from their current ones.
Okay. Felix, please write into the chat, what's the most efficient way to become a BA? From developer, from manager, or from SA? How do you think? And we will see, we will discuss it.
I see there are many comments in chats, but I don't manage to read them.
Yeah, you can open, read, and answer to some of them, for sure.
Okay.
Here's the last comment from India.
Yeah, nice
What would
to
you recommend?
see.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
It's really great that we have audience from India. Okay, my name is I'm from India with specialization in marketing, and I'm looking. Oh, sorry, I have this hard over the word. Yeah, I'm looking.
I'm looking scope and BA. Please help me and guide.
Please help me and guide me. Scope in BA. It's like it's about topics that you want to study, or what scope. Usually we use this term in order to scope our project, but not business analysis. Yeah, so I would say that if you have personal questions and you want to ask me, you can text me in direct messages on Instagram. So I'm always there.
Follow by the link.
Yeah. Because I'm not a million followers blogger yet. That's why I can pay attention to everyone. So please text me. Usually I'm answering when I have time. Yeah.
Okay, let's move forward. In what business domains did you have an experience?
Oh, yeah, there were many domains because there were more than 20 projects in different domains for different countries. at some periods of my BA life, I had 8 projects in parallel. So it was hard times, yeah. But about the domains, it was retail systems, POS, ERP, HRM, e-learning, esports, AR and AI. Really many spheres. Of course, fintech, my favorite in quotes domain. Frankly speaking, probably I forgot it because it was the hardest time in my life when I had to know all of those terms that was narrowly specialized for this sphere, for this domain. Yeah. So there were many domains. Yeah, I have a huge experience.
Are BA distinguished by domains, such developers are distinguished by language? For example, medicine business analysis or fintech BA or AI BA, something like that, like Java developer or C# developer.
Yeah, I see. Nice question. So I would say that usually we are trying to be business analysts who can bring the success to every project in every domain. But of course, when you have this experience in some special sphere, in specific sphere, for example, healthcare or really fintech, it means that you each time you receive this project in the same domain, you will feel more comfortable. You will feel like it's your plate and you can do everything. So, of course, it's easier for you to perform on such types of projects if you have huge experience in just one type of domain. But of course, if you want to study, if you want to learn more, you can try more and more and try to be useful in each of them. So yeah, I think it's not so strict line as in development. Of course, in development, it's more obvious that you have to know only one or another one programming language, and sometimes other knowledge from other languages are just like additional knowledge that can help you sometimes to make a decision, for example, on which language this project should be written, at least like that. But in the business analysis, I think it's kind of easier than in the programming. Yeah.
I suppose the future could be ChatGPT BA.
Oh no. I would say that this future is really far from us, because I was also really interested in ChatGPT when it was like mainstream on every in news topics and news feeds. You could see ChatGPT. And yeah, when I finally tried it, I understood that it has nothing with business analysis when it's about like requests that you really need to cover with hard skills, with your knowledge in technical writing and other things, because ChatGPT can beautifully say something. It's more about copywriting, I would say, but about the profession of business analyst, I think we will always need intelligent people who can help the project, not the robots. And about other IT professions, I would say the same, because some cases showed us that ChatGPT sometimes is a liar, because it can say something really beautifully and it looks intelligent, really looks great. And when you check this information, it's bullshit. I don't know. Yeah, let it be stream.
My colleagues are struggling to make ChatGPT to talk intelligence, but I'm struggling to make real people to talk with me. Okay,
Yeah.
what's your favorite domain?
Oh, my favorite.
And please write into the comments your favorite domains.
Yeah, by the way, it's really interesting topic. I think sometime earlier, I would say that I like AI domain, but I think I said so because that domain was new for me and it was really interesting to take part in such projects. But currently, I would say that I really enjoy my current domain. I'm working in enterprise resource planning. It means such systems has many modules related to each other, and you need to follow all of the connections, all of the relations between these modules, features, roles, and other things. And I really enjoy this process because it's not simple, it's challenging, and yeah, I'm into it. I think currently it's my favorite domain. And what about our comments in chat? I think we have some delay. Yeah.
Yeah, we have some delay. Okay, let's continue. You're not only B, you're also a blogger. And you have Instagram, follow, subscribe. And how did you become a blogger? When did this idea come to your mind?
Oh, I think this is also one of the interesting stories in my life. So, some time ago, my friends would always tell me, Irina, you should have your own course. You should teach business analysts. I mean, beginners to become business analysts. And at that time, I was just a business analyst in some company. And I think those ideas of my friends just surprised me. But of course, I knew that if they say that, they had some reason to say that. And sometime later, I think when we have this quarantine with COVID-19, I was sitting at home and I was thinking about, okay, now I have more time. I can't go to my trainings. Everything is closed outside. And you are sitting at home and just thinking about your probably hidden dreams or something like that. And
How to entertain yourself.
yeah, that's too. Yeah, and after that, I was sitting dreaming, and I remembered about that course. And of course, it was like my initial dream to conduct this course, to share this information with people, because I had many things to share in my head. And the next question, my internal question was, and for whom you want to conduct this course? Where is your audience? With whom you want to share all of your knowledge? And that time, I just came up with this idea to have this blog. And I started it. I posted my first post, just carefully looked at it, looked at comments, likes, at feedback. And when I received the first portion of feedback, I decided to continue this deal. And yeah, I think step by step, my blog just grew, and yeah, we see what we have now. So yeah, I think that's it.
And what has changed in your life after you run your blog?
Oh, I think many things have changed, but the main thing is the BA community. I got after this blog, because there are so many connections that I received with my blog. There are so many beautiful specialists from all the perspectives. I mean, they are brilliant professionals. They have many topics to share with me, and we teach each other. And sometimes when we meet each other, I mean our BA community, in different life cases, we're always happy, because people matter. So I'm really happy, and I'm grateful for my blog, for my EasyBA blog, for people, for the audience that we have there. And if I'm not mistaken, even in bio of my Insta profile, I have a description that this is the inspirational space for business analysts. So I hope my blog, it's more community as you. Yeah. So it's not like a lifestyle blog. It's just community for business analysts who strive to be better and want to develop their skills. Yeah.
Okay. Top 3 recommendations to our subscribers who wants to be a blogger.
Oh, who wants to be a blogger? Interesting. Finally, not the question about how to become a business analyst and how to become a blogger. Okay, let me just show you the final screen of my every presentation in my life. I think it always finishes with such words. Just let me show you. Yeah, so I think it's my motto. You may not believe in unicorns, but they believe in you. So I would recommend that everyone who wants to become a blogger just believe in you and just do it. Especially nowadays, when we see that everything is possible, everything we have is our fears and some thoughts in our minds that stop us. But if we just leave these thoughts and just go further, if we believe in ourselves, and moreover, remember that unicorns believe in us, everything is possible. So it's kind of fairy tale story, but it's true. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for your discussion. Please, colleagues, press like to Irina. Today, we explored the significance of business analysis in development team, how it's important, how painful to meet them. So thank you all for participation and engaging into discussion. Press like, follow Irina on Instagram, subscribe to MDC, and have a nice day. Bye.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for inviting me. And of course, thank you for all who came to our stream today. Andrei, thank you very much for invitation. It means a lot to me. It was really interesting, and it was one of my first English-speaking streams in my life. Yeah.
Now you're not a blogger, you're a vlogger also.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.